Hello, everybody. Today we're going to do something very simple. We're going to do the most simple green screen that you could do. This is something that you could do in a bedroom. You could do it. This is a small set. This is not a studio set. This is a small set where actually I'm going to show you basically how to light the most simplest green screen of all, pretty much. And that's using the camera or again your smartphone and only one light. Okay, so there's not going to be no backlight in the back over here, and there's not going to be side lights, like the 3-point lighting. I've already showed that in another video. You should look at it. Go ahead and look at that. This is just basically the rock bottom, one light, one camera, and then the green screen behind. Again, this fits in a bedroom, in a living room, in an office. These are the types of things that you could do yourself. Something like for YouTube and social media, of course, you could do this very simply um, without getting too complicated with the lighting and the setup. So basically, I'm going to put it together for you here. First of all, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the light. You want to have you don't want to have the light on one side or the other, because if you can see right over here, it creates a shadow. See it right here, the shadow. We're going to go tighter. There it is. There's a shadow. So if I move this light over here, of course you're going to have the shadow. Oops, sorry about that. You're going to have the shadow on this side. All right. So when you only have one light to work with, you want to have it close to the center as possible. You want to have it in the center of the model. Okay, so I'm putting it right there, and now I want to bring in the camera, and you want to have the camera in front of the light. You don't want to have it, I'll show you why in a second. Let me move this back. See, this is what actually happens in real life. You have a light that is too close in front of the model, and you're going to see the stand of the light. See, that's what's happening here in real life. Okay, see, there is the light right there hitting her, and the light you want to have, very important. I already had it set up at that, but you want to have the light as high as possible. Here, see how the light is in the shot. You got to be very careful in real life as well. In a real production, sometimes that happens, so you got to make sure you bring it up. And in this case, in order to work the lighting as perfect as possible, you want it. This is an 8-foot ceiling, which is the normal home ceiling or most office ceiling, small offices. They're 8 foot height. So you want the light always to touch, okay, the ceiling. If it's 8 foot, right? You want to have it there, and that gives you a 45-degree angle, which is what normal lighting and basic lighting should be like. The light should always come from the top, never from the front here, because it just gives you a weird type of lighting. And I can show you that right now. If I move the camera to the right a little bit here, or to the left, and move it to the left. See what happens? It's not a flattering type of light, even though this is a soft light. If you can see, this is a soft light, okay? And has a fabric in front of the light, and it gives you a very soft light. Now, of course, it's a little too bright, so we're going to bring the brightness down a little bit, and there you go. There's like about correct right there. So, but if you can see, the side light gives you a shadow, and you don't want that. Okay, you don't want that because that shadow comes from this light. You would have to bring the light on the other side, but if you do that, see, even right there, now the shadow is on the right. So the only way to get rid of that shadows in the back, if you only have one light, okay, which is what this class is about. I'm going to bring it back up, okay. And of course, I have the system set up where the light should always be pointing to directly. You always want the light to go directly to the model, okay? And so it's from the center. The bulb is usually always in the center, unless if it's an LED light, same thing. Just figure out the middle of it and just follow the line towards her. And that's what you see here. Let me show you. See, when I move the light, see the light? I'm actually can move it up a little higher to her face, and it should be really hitting somewhere around there, her face or whatever. That's when you know that the light is centered. Now, with one light again, see how the shadow goes behind because the light is higher. Look at the shadow, how it goes up and down. Look on this side over here. Okay? Look how it goes up and down. So at a 45-degree angle, it's the best angle for lighting, because sunlight, when we walk outside in the sunlight, most of the time the light is 45-degree angle. Yes, in Miami is right on top of us, especially at noon. So it's very important at what time do you shoot in the day, right? You don't want to get the sun right above you because it gives you the worst lighting. But this 45-degree angle for the light, and the light being at least maybe 6 feet away from her, 5 to 6 feet, it's perfect. So as you can see, as I go up here, you can see that I can't go up higher because remember, this is an 8-foot ceiling, so I wouldn't want to trick, but if you could go higher, of course you go a little higher, because the higher you go with the light, as you can see, the shadow goes smaller behind her. Okay, but let's go with what we have, 8 foot, and now we're going to bring the camera again. The secret right here is to bring the camera in front of the light. It's going to be a little hard to shoot, because if you put it behind, you see the stand of the light, right? See the stand right there? So we have to go in front of the light and put the camera there. In fact, I want to go further out, right there. So I'm going to move the light back a little more. There we go. So see, so you want the light right center, behind the camera, okay? That's your camera angle right there. All right. And remember, when you set up a green screen and you put the stands up, you always want to have space back here, because at times you want to walk behind it. Sometimes you want to put a backlight in the back, which I normally do. Or I have another tripod here with a stand and an arm that just goes out here and gives it a backlight. But that's not what this video is about. This video is, like I said, is the most simplest way. What do you do if you only have a camera and one nice soft light? Now, the light needs to be a soft light. I will talk about the light a little bit more as to the light that I normally buy and you can get on Amazon. And really nice light that I've always used. I have the LEDs as well, but to me, the LEDs, they're a little too harsh for me. And if they fell, that's it, they're done. But these lights, they can fall all day long and nothing happens. The bulb is well protected because it's in the middle right here. And this umbrella type deal, box, it just protects it. It's amazing. And the whole thing really folds down to like if you just like folding an umbrella. It just folds down so small that you can put it anywhere, and you can have 4 or 5. I actually have six of them together in a small case. So because they get really flat. So that's another nice thing about that. Okay, so now all I need to do is bring up the iris a little bit on there. We are at we have it at f.56, so we want to bring it down maybe to 4. Give it a 4 right there, and there it is. She is well lit. It's a frontal light, and but this is a really basic light. And also in the back, if you see, this is the only area that may be a little, because the light is diffused, right? Because since this is a soft light, which you need to use a soft light, if you use a harsh light, the problem with that is that it will create dark shadows behind her. This little shadows, you can, I use Final Cut. Final Cut is amazing to do green screen work, so you're not going to have any issues with something like this. Now, if it gets darker, then you may be able to. Let me just fix here the camera a second. I'm trying to give a little headroom. There you go. So this is good for a medium shot. Okay, from the waist up, this is what this shot is about. And this is a 50 millimeter right now that I have lens. And if you go a little wider, you can go with a 40 millimeter. And then see what happens is you start getting the edges. So you just have to be very careful with the camera and just move the camera over and make sure it's just in the center. Okay, see, you still have room. Okay, so there we go. There we go, right there. All right, so I went with a 40 millimeter lens, which is a little more wide angle, and now I'm going to move the light. See how the light moves behind her? The shadow. Again, if you had not a soft light, but a regular light without a soft gel in front of it or anything, then you'll probably get this dark shadows, and that's not good for green screen. Now, if you have the soft light, this is what happens. See how everything was really soft? Now, another trick is to move the light back some more, because the more back it goes, the softer the light gets. We're going to move her forward. And what that does is that it allows the light, the shadow, it allows the shadow in the back to fall a little smaller. See, so now it's even better around the edges. So that there you have it. This is a very simple way to do a green screen with only one soft light and the one camera and a small green screen. By the way, this green screen, let me give you the sizes of it. Let me give you the size of the green screen. That green screen is about, let me see, the height, it's 8 foot height, right? And 7 foot width, and it's 12 foot longwise this way. So it's pretty small. Normally you will want maybe 8 foot by 12. It would be a great green screen to work with. 8, because it gives you enough space, see, on both sides. This is 7, and you do have space here on both sides. You see, she's not even centered right now, but it works. See, as long as it works here and you don't have the stance, you're good. And the basic concept of this lighting with one light, soft light, is that this soft light will light the background. Imagine she's not there for a second. Let's move her over. The idea is that this light should light the background completely. This light will do that without any issues. The issues begin to happen when the model walks in and creates a shadow behind her, as you can see. See, there's a shadow there behind her, right? And so how do you get rid of that? The best way to do that is to have, as I explained, the light right in front of her and having the light 8 foot high, 45-degree angle, and that way the shadow will actually, see, the closer you bring the light, the lower the shadow will be. And that's the concept behind lighting with only one light, 45-degree angle. Make sure the light is a soft light with a fabric in front of it, something that's very nice and soft, and having the camera right in front of the eye level of the model, and that way you get this right here. See, the green screen is real nice lit around her. this a little bit of shadow here. That's not a problem at all. And there you have it. That's the way to be able to light a green screen with only one light. This is the perfect way to do it if you don't have two lights. If you have two lights or three, then you do the 3-point lighting, and that I've already shown on another video. Go and check it out. I do have it there in my channel. And again, we are now working a lot with smartphones, an iPhone, which are great. The quality is amazing, and you can start shooting professional things for YouTube, the web, without any issues at all. As long as you learn the camera, you learn the system. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.